Shadowverse.
Greetings, I'm Shad.
And greetings, I am Tyrant.
And Tyrant, we have something a little different today.
I'm unexperienced with this sort of thing. I don't actually know much about these.
We have here the Chinese Dao Saber Dragon theme sent to us from Sword Is. And this is a very interesting sword, Tyrant.
There's a lot of stuff that I really like about them, but there's also some stuff we gotta
discuss. Now, to get some of the information correct, just so we know, this is a handmade Chinese Dao Qing Ye. Qing Ye is forged from Damascus steel folded over 13 times, producing layers of beautiful grain patterns. Now, we can confirm this has pattern welded layered steel.
Yes.
With some beautiful patterns.
Did it say what grade of steel, or did it just say layered steel?
That's what I'm hoping to find. But it's a replica of Ming Dynasty 1368 to 1644 blade, which features a dragon motif. Okay, so crafted from tri-colored copper, the sword fittings. Okay, so the sword fittings are tri-colored copper. No, we want specifications here, all right? Handle length, blade steel type. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Damascus steel.
That's about typical.
It's like, no. We need to know if it's high carbon or not. And it doesn't say.
Okay, so why don't we get into some initial thoughts? Because I have a lot of them already and we haven't even done anything. Oh, and that just came off. One of the ball
things. So, this sword retails for $658. I can't tell if that's Australian or US. All right, what are your thoughts on this sword? I drew it like a katana because I'm so used to them facing edge up. So, no. Aha! There.
What are my thoughts initially? We've got some issues.
Okay, yeah. The blade is gorgeous.
Yes, I think the grind lines on it, even the design of it is actually really, really beautiful.
Double fullered with a wide fuller and thin fuller. We have an unsharpened clip point, but really lovely wide bevel on it. It is gorgeous. Now, we will find out if it holds up to its appearance based on performance and how tough this steel is, but it is most definitely pattern welded Damascus. I don't even like calling pattern welded steel Damascus, but that's what the common term is now for.
In terms of the fittings, though, I have a lot of issues.
Then so blade, love the blade. Then we come to the hilt and handle.
Yeah. First off, it's like, is this a Dao or whatever they call it? Because it looks like they're trying to make it a katana. Am I missing something? Like, I'm not an expert on Chinese swords.
So
but this just looks
I
like
do believe
katana.
Dao is the term for single-edged Chinese style swords. All the above is therefore a type of Dao.
Okay.
And I do believe the actual historical ones did come this stiff and stuff. Like, you see these Dao swords in martial arts kung fu films, and they're all floppy and wavy. Yes. But no, if you want a serious business combat-ready blade, it's going to actually be quite stiff.
Right, I'm talking about the Hibaki and the Suba, and like I'm going to use katana terminology because I don't know what they're called in Chinese.
Well, just so we're not doing cultural appropriation, we're going to call this a disc guard and the European words.
Oh, yeah.
And so instead of appropriating to Japanese, we're going to appropriate it to English.
Right. What about this ray skin and then this wrap, the diamond wrap? What do we call that?
It's not exactly a Japanese diamond wrap.
All right, some of the negatives right off the bat, there is a lot of sharp edges on these steel fittings on both the pommel and this little guard up where your hand, if you push it right up to the top.
Right here, it's a rectangle, it's not an oval, right? And so the corners literally jab into your hand when you're holding it.
And it's got like a filigree design, so there's lots of sharp edges there. This disc guard has the same sort of issue where it is digging into my hand as I use it, so I can't actually choke up on the blade. I have to move my hand down.
Holding it lower is more comfortable because of these fittings.
Yeah. In terms of the actual comfort of the handle itself, like I don't think it's too bad. There's nothing majorly wrong with it, in my
Okay,
opinion.
okay. See this wrap? I can tell that whatever this wrap is made out of feels cheap.
Oh yes, this is like the same stuff you get out of necklaces. If you buy a shark tooth necklace, it's got like this material as
And so I'm concerned as to how durable this will be. The ray skin underneath looks fake. It is hard to tell, actually, on closer inspection. Maybe it's real. I would hope it would be real because this sword, for its price point, I would actually expect the material quality to be higher. And there is another issue. The decorative fittings, right, has kind of, they're supposed to be jewels or gems.
Yep.
These look plastic.
Yep.
And they're not even sitting in the correct housing. I have one here that's literally
Oh yeah, it's the same on all of them.
like not even, it's out, and you've had one come off already.
Yes. Okay.
So this is bothering me because this handle is the type of handle you would get on a $50 sword.
Oh, I agree. Yes.
Yeah, this is cheap garbage, okay?
So-
Which is what bonkers to me because it's got such a beautiful high production blade.
Yep.
Why the heck would you give it such a crappy handle?
Yeah. This is just initial thoughts before we even start testing the blade. This handle and all these fittings just don't match up for this price point at all.
No.
But the blade itself, like just from first inspection, is really nice.
Gorgeous. Now, we will mention this is a gorgeous blade. If you're interested in checking out this sword, we have an affiliate link in the description. It's from Sword Is, but we are now going to be putting it through its paces.
All right, let's get started.
Get started. All right, we're going to weigh it in, and I'm going to predict that this weighs 1.05. Let's see if I get it. 1.05! Wow! That's amazing! How did I know that? I definitely didn't weigh it before we started recording. I should mention, right, the scabbard has similar type of fittings to the handle. They match. In terms of them being rectangular and a bit, sharper on the edges, not an issue with the scabbard itself. I like the wood.
I like
is
the
me.
wood too, however, I feel like these edges here, these right angles, could have been chamfered a tiny bit.
Tiny bit? Oh,
'Cause, like,
that's fine.
It's fine, but it's one of those things where $650, come on. It takes 1 second to chamfer some wood.
All right. I'm just going to go for straight single-handed cut. No power, no effort. Going to let the sword do the business. Didn't even dig in.
Hit it near the tip. I'll save my thoughts for after.
Yeah. Don't say anything because if you fail, then I'm gonna do a two-handed at the tip because I think the tip might not be as sharp.
That doesn't sound nice.
Yeah, this thing dug into my hand again. I want to hold it further down, and that is uncomfortable. I'm gonna do a two-handed sideways cut. So it can be done. It's not clean.
It doesn't sound clean.
And look, just going. Just straight. Oh, gee, that is teary.
Yeah.
That is teary. Ugh.
I can feel one tiny little pocket of sharpness right up at the top. Yeah, that just slapped.
So it's not me.
Wow, it's still you, but this is blunt.
I did do a horizontal though. I did get one cut.
Like that is that one sharper? Oh yeah, you're right. That pommel is terrible. I'm not enjoying
This
myself
could have come
right now.
sharper. Let's switch it with our other one. See if it's a little better. Now remember, I didn't do a single cut with this one. Okay?
This still isn't that
So
sharp,
even if
though.
Tyranth does it slightly better than me in the cutting, we know it's just sharpness differences, okay?
Even that's not that nice.
That's an ugly horizontal.
Like that is perfect angle and we're still tearing through. It's just not sharp, man.
Just not sharp. Look, this is a pity because I really wanted to see how well this blade would perform. But well, look, this is factory sharpness. This is what it comes with.
This is what you're going to get.
We have not cut with this sword before. And it's just not performing. Now, having said that, we have had swords that have come not super sharp. Initial review, middling, then we sharpened them up and they cut like friggin' beasts.
Sure.
It's a pity because this blade looks like it would be crazy good.
Yeah.
The edge is just letting it down.
I'm also already having a lot of trouble with my hand and these sharp edges.
This handle is...
Like, even if I'm not slamming my hand all the way up there, just being here, when you move that tiny bit, it just clips
it's still... And it digs into your hands. I hate this handle.
Yeah, and this this pommel, this whatever you want to call it, is just trash.
Look, there's still some more to discover about this sword. We want to do some stress testing on the blade to see what type of steel. Well, we don't know the actual grade of steel. It's Damascus, but by testing its durability, that'll give us a bit of a point of reference to how tough it is.
All right, I will give them one positive here.
Yeah?
And it's not really a positive. This does have a threaded pommel, so we can take all this trash off and put this blade on something a lot nicer.
And then sharpen it up and maybe...
Because I'm not enjoying myself right now.
So we are going to be pushing this sword beyond its limit, a full destruction testing. But what takes a little bit more time is actually busting the hilt open and seeing how the Tangus constructed ounce connected. And so what we're going to be doing for that is making an exclusive video for our supporters. If you want to see what's inside this handle and how well it's constructed and put together, all you need to do is support us here on channel memberships, Patreon, Player, or Subscribe Star. It helps out more than we can express, and then you get some great exclusive content on top of that. So thank you to everyone who is supporting us, and looking forward to seeing you in the exclusive video. All right, now for some stress testing. Look, maybe the sword will redeem itself, like it could be really solidly built. And this is to test vibration, impact, how much the wood damages the sword, not how much the sword damages the wood. And we'll find out. Medium hit. I was making very sure to avoid the pokey things.
Yep.
And by avoiding that, that felt really nice.
Okay, I just want to clarify, you shouldn't have to do that with sword handle.
This
Let's be
is true.
clear
This
about
is
that
true.
right off the bat.
Should I hold it there and see what the vibration does to the hand?
We know what it's going to do. It's going to hurt your
It's
hand.
going to suck.
Yeah.
But when you're careful with it, it actually handled that vibration beautifully.
Wow.
Did it bend? Oh,
But hold on.
Okay.
Like, all right. Context. I saw the wood twist,
Yeah.
and I think that's what pushed it over its edge, right? I don't actually think that was purely just from the impact itself.
But the thing is, though, we've had swords survive stuff like that.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That's still terrible.
Yeah, this is...
Relatively speaking.
This is not good. This means this is not really
very
high-quality
soft.
spring
It's
steel.
very
This
soft.
is actually on the softer end. That sucks. How was the vibration?
It felt fine.
It felt fine, but...
But I want you to see this.
Yes. That's pretty deep.
That is some deep cuts there. Okay, I know I was kind of half joking about it being a katana at the beginning of the video, but I mean, is it a differential heat treat?
It is, actually.
And that's...
Have a look. You can see the Hammond line. It's bare. They didn't etch it to really make it pop, but there's a Hammond line on it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, so that explains it. This differentially hardened blades are usually pretty weak when it comes to the wood stress test, and they bend
Well, 'cause
relatively easily.
if your edge alignment isn't like perfect, the slightest bit of pressure on a blade that isn't directly on that edge will cause the blade to just bend, which is why it kind of sucks.
The thing is, though, it does mean the edge is a lot harder than the rest of the sword, which is why it survived pretty well on the edge test, which is interesting. People,
It is interesting, but if we were so inclined to break it, it just means we'd have to smack it a couple
oh
times.
no, this would bend pretty easily if we really. The thing is, though, we have it here to break. We're gonna do it.
All right, let's break it. Okay, for this specific test, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do 10 strikes on the edge of the blade, 5 strikes along the side of the blade, and then 5 on the spine of the blade. And we should probably get a failure by that point. Let's get to it.
Didn't like that.
That's scary, man.
Yeah, that's a soft blade. Edge is pretty darn hard, but everything else is really soft.
No, I mean, okay, so this actually isn't safe for me to continue with because the bend is at the tang. I mean,
Oh, did it bend in the tang?
it's also a boomerang, but the bend is here. So this is no longer safe for me to use.
No. This is where the plug gets pulled.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is interesting. It is a harder edge, and so that's induced chipping, which we would expect.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll get some close-ups and B-roll because this is interesting. I think.
This is, yeah.
But that is where we're stopping it.
So this is from the exclusive video, and the full exclusive video is available to our supporters, but we are discovering something troubling that we need to mention in the full review. This handle is absolute crap, okay?
First off, it has a threaded end cap, which by itself isn't a problem.
Yeah.
But it also had nails in it. It also was pinned underneath the wrap.
Underneath the race skin and wrap, so you couldn't even see the pins.
And then it was an ill-fitting wood handle. So they've put like 5 millimeters of epoxy to fill it out.
Like it seems like this might have a thin, almost rat-tailed tang that was ill-fitted to the wood that they have just loaded and filled up with epoxy to make it fit. And already, look how thin we are getting, and I'm not even through the epoxy to get to the metal.
And I want to make this clear. All of those like construction methods for a handle isn't bad, but you usually don't do them all
Not
in
all
conjunction.
together.
Yeah.
Like I'm still carving down, and I think I've only just reached the tang here. Holy crap. Yeah. We can actually see how ill-fitting it is. There is like 2 to 3 mil epoxy on either side of the tang.
Yep.
Let me get a close-up. Okay, so do you see the tang, the metal tang here, and there's epoxy on either side, right? That's like 2 to 3 mil epoxy on either side of the tang inside the handle. Okay, the sword is dragon-themed Dao.
Look, man, this is not going to be a high score.
I don't think so. Look, a couple of things that did pleasantly surprise me as a really hard edge. And it took a bit more abuse to get it to chip for such a hard edge than we've seen with other swords. For instance, T10 hardened steel swords chip easier than what this did.
This is a package, man, and I think this is worse than the Taitsuki because at least the Taitsuki was comfortable to use.
Look, this is true. I'm trying to give it any redeeming features before
$630 for this quality.
The price.
I can't.
Look, I'm with you. I still want to mention the things that I think are worth, some positives. It's a beautiful folded steel blade. If you like the pattern and design and the artistic value there, it's differentially hardened. And when it comes to differentially hardened swords, we usually get performance like this. For a differentially hardened blade, compared to other ones, the edge held up rather nicely.
It's even worse because it bent at the tang.
Then we come up to the other problems. But I'm still going to say the edge was surprisingly durable. Everything else kind of sucked.
I mean, even if we give it the edge is hard, it wasn't sharp. They didn't send it sharp.
Look at the handle there.
And the handle was, I hate that handle so
handle
much.
Is ass.
It hurts your hands. It digs into your hands on both ends.
It's cheap and low quality. And for the price point, this is a very disappointing sword.
I mean, $200 swords
so
better.
Easily, what, 2 out of 10?
A 2, yep. Mm-hmm. And what's really sad about this is I remember when me and Shad first unboxed these, we were both like, this is actually really cool. I can't wait to do this.
We were really liking it.
And even now, I still think that blade is beautiful. Nothing wrong with the blade. It's just not a good quality blade.
I do like the...
I like that too.
Habaki. Is this Habaki? Yeah. Unfortunately, we cannot recommend, even though we have an affiliate link if you're interested. No, this was disappointing.
Well, this is the issue, right? I originally thought even if everything goes terribly, we can just remove this handle and put a new one on. But they'd bent at the tang, which is like, oh, that's really not good.
That's not good. that is not where you want a sword to bend.
Yeah.
Right here.
Because like fixing a bent blade on a differentially hardened like katana or whatever is one thing, but bending the tang back, I would not recommend. But I think that's all for today's episode. Yeah.
That's it. Sword is, I believe in you. You can redeem yourself. Sword is, find you reckon the best sword that you've got on your website and send it to us to put it to the test. Because when a sword performs,
not the most expensive.
not the most expensive.
That's not what he said.
We want
the
quality.
Best
Yes.
quality sword.
And we will put it to the test as we do. Because when we get a good sword, we love good swords.
But while we've got you guys here, leave a comment down below what you think we should do with this blade, because this handle is terrible. We're going to remove it.
Yeah.
And we're thinking maybe of turning this into a Messer or a falchion.
Falchion. This is actually perfectly adequate falchion blade. Because a lot of these blade types are somewhat interchangeable. And so this could easily be a Messer or falchion. Let us know what you think we should turn it into. Maybe, like a more subtle assassin type blade.
Maybe. We'll see. That
Let us know
sounded
in the
more
comments.
ninja to me. But anyway.
Or check out one of the previous videos we got. What one?
You can check out one of our other reviews.
The Topeka one.
The Pika one was not bad.
That was very high ratings.
Chad liked it.
Very surprising.
It'll be it right here. Thanks for watching, guys.
Okay.